Welcome to TheoTrade. Don Kaufman here. It's June 5th, 2026. Look, I'm going to get right to it. S&P's 15 minutes to go to the cash close. We are down some 200 handles and facing a full-fledged 2 standard deviation move. Now, I'm off the lows here in the S&Ps, but minimally so. And when you're taking a look at the screen right now, it's all kinds of wrong. Yeah, I'm well aware that the NASDAQ is taking a 4.5% hit. The semiconductors finally have kind of flinched. I mean, to some people, this has to be a degree of relief because you're looking at this. It's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. All right, we deflate a little bit over here. But what I want to put into context here on this TheoTrade weekend update is there's all kinds of structural issues right now in the marketplace that leave us incredibly vulnerable coming into next week. And I'm going to explain exactly that and talk a little bit how to position yourself around this. Because, you know, in a time like this, it's not about trying to trade around this, okay? You kind of got to sit back a little bit and let it play. But for those of you that need some positioning, okay, I'm going to try to work on that as well. So let's get into it here. As said, there's just about just less than 15 minutes to go, and maybe, just maybe, we've hit a bottom inside of the S&Ps. But overall, today it's just been kind of shock and awe hitting these markets. That's what it is. I mean, I think people are a little bit stunned and knocked back because we didn't have our usual kind of bounce. But as I said, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different take. You know, I wanted to start over in the semiconductors, the SMH. The SMH taking a little bit of a hit. But let me put the hit into perspective. When I'm talking about this, okay, you got to recognize something about the semiconductors. They flinched. But that's all that they're doing. Do you know the semiconductors, they're only hitting the lower edge of the expected move. So, ladies and gentlemen, say what you want to say about a marketplace. We're exactly where we expected to be inside of the semiconductors, which it implies that the hit that they're taking, it's nominal. And I wanted to start there because this is one of the structural issues with the marketplace is, all right, that one's kind of nominal. But if you go over to the QQQ, that's the NASDAQ 100, it's on almost a full-fledged 2 standard deviation move. Okay, the semiconductors had kind of, you know, surpassed the Qs earlier in the week and just really knocked the NASDAQ down today. 4.3%, 4.4% is a statistically significant move. And what I mean by that is anytime you're over a 3% move, okay, forget about point for point. Like, who cares? Oh, the NASDAQ is, you know, oh no, it's 1,300 points. It doesn't matter on a point for point basis. It's a percentage move. A 3% move is what I would term a statistically significant move. And we're there, okay? But again, day like today, like, you know, you're looking at the chart, you're looking at the clock, the chart, the clock, get crazy in a hurry. You're over that level, okay? But as I said just a moment ago, the semiconductors flinched, did a little damage to the NASDAQ, but by no stretch of the imagination are we home yet. Like, if this is going to be a little bit more prolonged sell-side activity, look, that's a bit of a standout, okay? But you're only back to where you were just a few weeks ago. Like, the damage that was inflicted today isn't, okay, that big. And when you start looking at the semiconductors, and again, I love to point this out in the semiconductors, oh no, we're back to where we were, what, 2 weeks ago? Okay, like, oh yeah, we were there 2 weeks ago. There you go, it's where we closed exactly 2 weeks ago. So the irony is in the semiconductors, which has been at the, you know, that's been the epitome of the rally, is what's not necessarily, I mean, it's taking a hit, obviously, but it's not necessarily getting its clock clean, you know, like, you know, other portions of the marketplace. Now, the semiconductors flinched, but let's get into some of the structural issues. And here we go. Okay, look, you can look at the charts all you want. SPX is down. Okay, the Qs are down. Wake up, people. The advanced decline line is basically 50-50. You want to talk about a structural issue? I got a structural issue for you. How in the hell can the S&Ps be down 2.5% with a 50-50 advanced decline line? What you learn by looking at this is very quickly, okay, if we're going to go into greater amounts of sell-side activity, we ain't even close to home yet. There's 50 other things on the screen that you could sell. 50 products, okay, that are not down today. And just cruise through them. I mean, the financials as a whole, okay, they're unimpeded. Take a look down to the bottom of the screen over there. The financials ain't doing half bad. Okay, you've got a couple of them even up on the day, like J.P. Morgan, right? Morgan Stanley's down a little bit. Goldman Sachs is down a little bit. Why are those two down? Because they're involved in some of the AI IPOs. Bank of America, massively unchanged. J.P. Morgan, completely unscathed, up on the day. Wells Fargo, up on the day. Citi, okay, nominal move. And I wanted to bring that up because there's pockets in here of strength. If you take a look at healthcare today, okay, here's like Eli Lilly. Okay, it's going for it. I know. It's the drugs, man. No, this is a rotation. Okay. If you look at the XLP, which is consumer staples, it's a rotation. Okay. If you take a look at the utility sectors, it's a rotation. We are still seeing the attempt, and the irony is even stuff like Lowe's, okay, is still up today. Home Depot is basically flat today, which makes absolutely no sense because the interest rates are also up. When you take a look at, anytime a market's really seeing some sell side activity, you see a 50-50 advanced decline line, you go, time out, time out. This ain't what you think it is. Okay. Yeah, we're taking a hit. And yeah, that hit though is isolated. That hit is just a tech. So when people are going to be talking about over this weekend, oh, the market's got absolutely killed. The market didn't get killed. The market hasn't really even scraped its knee, okay, on this move. If it did, okay, you would see higher degrees of correlation, which is exactly what I brought up in last weekend's video. In last weekend's video, we had hit, okay, an absolute, okay, low in terms of correlation. But what I explained in last weekend's video is it was the volatility correlations, that the index volatility, which is VIX, the index volatility was all wrong for the picture. And I literally told you last weekend, and I followed up on Wednesday, okay, we are coiled and ready to explode on volatility. Now I'm reiterating it. We're exploding on volatility. But I'm also saying this, we're not even close yet. And I want to get into, as I said, a couple of structural issues with the marketplace right now, because in this sell side activity, I'm literally left, I'm like looking over here to my right hand side and another screen. I'm shaking my head because it's all kinds of wrong. I want to know what also is completely wrong here? You're seeing pretty heavy sell side activity inside of the S&Ps, okay? But there doesn't look to be like a huge amount of hedging going on. Take a look with me for a second. We all agree, woo, big move to the downside. Thank you, Captain Obvious, okay? Take a look, though, at where volume is. Now, I know that we have like, there's 7 minutes left. We're only doing 2 million contracts, okay? I've seen lots of big down days, and I've seen a hell of a lot more than 2 million contracts trade. Okay, this is a good sized down day. You're almost to a 3% move to the downside, like almost to a 3% move. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But inside of trading, okay, you open up the last 3 years, you want to see some big down days, here you go. That's a big down day. You're doing over 3 million contracts. The decent down days, you're doing over 3 million contracts. What the hell is going on right now? Absolutely nothing. Why should you care about this? Because the professionals are not coming in and offloading risk like they should. I don't like it. Okay. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm going to tell you right now, okay, the powers that be that are in this marketplace, this is not a driving force. This is not a huge punch. Nobody is at Panic at the Disco right now, because if they were, you would see consecutively 10,000 contracts pump through a minute. Period. There's no if, and, or but. This is not up for debate. This isn't a question over here. We are not seeing a full court press into the market. And it has everything to do with the fact that it's a freaking positive advanced decline line. A positive advanced decline line with the S&P is down 2.5%. This does not bode well. You need to see higher degrees of capitulation and correlation, okay? Because without correlation, which is like, 100 stocks trading on one side of the marketplace, without correlation, you can't capitulate in the marketplace. So even if we recover on Monday, you're like, woo, we recovered on Monday, you're going to be going back into bouts of volatility. The worst thing that you can see here structurally, that's why I say shock and awe hitting the markets, but the worst thing that you can see structurally right now is the lack of volume in the S&Ps, okay? Why? Firms got to believe, they got to hedge into it, and they're not. Firms got to believe it's like, it's the end of the world. And what do you do when it's the end of the world? Okay. Next thing over here, you buy volatility, right? Are they buying volatility into the close? No. Okay. Could all hell break loose this weekend? Absolutely. Are they buying volatility into the close? No. Okay. By the way, let's look at the volatility futures and actually look at the vol structure. When I say vol structure, forget this June crap. Okay. Come right over here July, August, July, August. We are not even close to backwardation. Not even close. You're 70 cents away from backwardation. So we're still in a very normalized contango, which again, that ain't good. Why? Because you haven't even scraped the surface of volatility. As I said, and I warned everybody last weekend, when volatility starts to erupt, it's going to feel just like that. It's going to feel like an eruption. Okay? This is not it. You're not home yet. Okay? I can't stress you this enough because you should have seen the 47-day vol futures should have exploded, boom, over the August volatility. What that implies is risk is now, risk is here, risk is today. The marketplace isn't buying it. Okay? Literally, they're not, they're just like, it's a little volatility. We're all going to be okay. And it's because they're a 50-50 advanced decline line. It's because we're still seeing rotation. I mean, look at this. We're buying financials into the close. You want all kinds of crazy, all kinds of stupid? That's it right there. Rotations, rotations, and more rotations. They're still with us. Okay? You say it out loud to yourself. Without correlation, there can be no capitulation. Okay? And you're going to be saying that a whole lot. Shock and awe, though, still hitting this marketplace. So you don't have backwardation, okay, in volatility. You have volume in the ES. I got to tell you, I'm so bothered by the volume in the ES. Like I keep looking over to my right-hand side, going like, come on, man, breathe. Okay, you got to see. Firms got to hedge, especially coming into a weekend, which also tells me that even after the cash close, so the market's going to close in 2 minutes, even after the cash close, these firms are going to continue to offload risk even after the cash close. All right, moving past that. So volatility picked up a little bit, but let's not get crazy. The VIX actually spikes, hits 20, reverts back down a little bit. I also want to take a look at the VVIX. That's the volatility of the VIX itself. The volatility of the VIX, okay, this is laughable. It's laughable, okay? Oh no, it came from where? Okay, 87 to 99. Look, I can point to dozens of times, okay, where the VVIX just took off to the upside. Like I'm surprised the VVIX didn't even go to 125 today. I mean, what kind of a sell-off are we seeing over here? Okay, look, I can show you days, and I know that this was some real turmoil back here, but I can show you days where VVIX was just rock bottom, just boom, spiked. Okay, I don't know why, but institutional hedging, they're not rushing the marketplace and going like, we need hedges, we need hedges, we need hedges. Okay, do people not believe that you can actually sell off? Because that's what this is saying. Do they not believe that we can sell off? This bothers the hell out of me. Like everything you see on the screen, as I said to you guys, earlier in the week, I was talking about like when you were a kid, the very back of this one magazine called Highlights. Okay, it was always, what's wrong with this picture? There's still a lot wrong with this picture. This is not a comfortable place to be. Monday could be a very, very serious day. Very serious day in the marketplace. Come back to that in just a second. The VVIX under 110. Now, I said on Wednesday night's video, also if you caught that, the volatility in Wednesday night's video for Monday expiration, okay, this volatility was actually sitting at 9.77%. I said there's only one place it can go. It can go up. It did go up, okay? But the expected move is only $80. Moreover, if you look 7 days out, the expected move is only 165. Doesn't it seem, okay, like volatility just really picked up today, but doesn't seem like a 170-point move is mild, given the fact that we moved 200 points today? Okay, bit of a catch-22, isn't it? How can we move only 170 points? Again, I think the marketplace, okay, it's got a head stuck right in the IPO of SpaceX. Oh, you thought I was going to say something else. I mean, the marketplace is stuck on the SpaceX IPO. I don't think the marketplace believes that actually can tank. And I'm telling you right now, okay, we're kind of ripping apart at the seams a little bit. And I literally said last weekend, I'm not sure we're going to hold it together for the SpaceX IPO. Okay, I think it was Quantinium. Okay, I won't even get into that. There's the closing bell. Quantinium actually closed below the IPO price. Not that that's going to make a big difference between that and SpaceX, but again, you got to be a little bit concerned as to what we're actually seeing here. By the way, the marketplace, the bell just went off. Okay, we're closed, but as I said to you, these S&Ps are going to continue to trade. Okay, my feeling is they're going to drive them right to lows. They're going to drive them to lows because the volume is all off. Where did the volume end up with today? 2.1 million contracts. That sucks. That can still pick up in the next 15 minutes, but that volume sucks. But as I said to you guys, like, look, we just came off a $101 move. Okay, the S&Ps were positioned to move $101. Actual move, well, you moved down 200 today. We're basically flat. So you had about a 2 standard deviation move. You know, you're supposed to move $100, move $200. Good. Great. 2 standard deviation move. I don't like next week. I just don't like it. Okay, I keep saying that too. Like, it's a 170-point move being priced in for the entire week when you had a $200 move today. Okay, listen, there's not much you can do over the weekend, but I'm going to give you one good hint here. You are going to watch the crypto markets maybe a little bit over the weekend, specifically in Bitcoin. Okay, I have a feeling Bitcoin is actually going to get liquidated over the weekend. And if you come in, Sunday night, and these futures start to really drop, by the way, I told you these were going to drop, but if those futures drop on Sunday night, you got to do everything you can, okay? This is all about protection. This is going to be all about protection. Come in here first thing on Monday morning. I will actually show people how to mitigate risk kind of in real time. It's really going to come down to it right now, okay? The pressure's on. The S&Ps, as I said to you guys, they look like they're going to continue to sell off after the close, and they are continuing to sell off. We just lost another 16, 17 handles, literally since the bell went off. We closed basically at 7,400. Here we go. We're already down another 20 points, and they continue to drop them. It's getting a little bit crazy out there. And again, that volume, just picked up another 20,000 contracts over here. So some shock and awe in the markets. I'm going to come in here again, even if I have to. If we open up under huge duress, even on Sunday night, I'll even come in if I have to on Sunday night and go live on Sunday night. I would let everybody here at TheoTrade know that. There it is. There's the break. Like, how the hell can you know that? Because they need to offload risk. These trading firms are just not offloading risk like they should be. These volatility futures should be like parabolic. They don't feel right. Volume doesn't feel right. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't have to like it. I don't even want to like it. You're at a 50-50 advanced decline line, but the S&P's off. Check this out, almost 3%. I always say this statement like, oh, I've seen this movie before. I got news for you. Ain't nobody seen this movie. Down 3%, 50-50 advanced decline line, and yet the entirety of next week only holds $173 of expected move. I want to thank everybody for joining us here at TheoTrade. Have a wonderful weekend. I will keep you abridged of any situations in this marketplace. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.